Hey everyone, I'm Justin with 702pros.com. In this video, I'm going to be talking about adding a mega menu to your WordPress website, just like this one, somewhere right here. So if you want to build a mega menu like that, for this build, I'm using WordPress as my framework. And then on top of WordPress, I'm using Elementor. And then on top of that, I'm using Elementor Pro. Now, the only premium plugin is going to be Elementor Pro. So that means that you're going to have to purchase it to do this. And that should be about it. So I'm going to get started right here on a screencast, and let's get started. Okay, so now we're on the front end of the website, and here's the mega menu that I was talking about. So this isn't actually a mega menu, full disclosure. It's a pop-up through Elementor. So if you have any experience with pop-ups, this is just a pop-up from when you click. And this is how I've been using mega menu. I've used other mega menus, but they're really convoluted, really complex. And you have to add additional plugins on top of your existing build. So I like to strip as many plugins out as possible. And this, I think, gets the job done. And it makes it all in kind of one inclusive place. So if you know Elementor, you can do a pop-up like this. So let's first start off by going into the header of the site. So I'm just going to hover over Elementor here. And then if you've built a header already, now if you want help with building a header, please leave a comment below and I'll do a video on I'm probably going to do one anyway, but if you want one specifically, just leave me a comment. Okay, so I open header up, and this is the header that I created. So just to give you a little background on this, so there's 3 sections, 1, 2, and 3. And this is going to be our mobile menu, and then this is our desktop menu. So we're just looking at desktop right now. So now we have these links up here. Now, I've seen other people where they go into here and they want to do a nav menu. So they'll drag this widget over and use the nav menu. I'm actually not using nav menu. I'm using icon list. So I'm going to show you how to do that. You go to widgets, you search icon list, and then you're going to drag that over. And then you could start building your list out from here. Now, how did I get it like this? This video isn't really going over that. I'll do that more in the header video. But I created with icon list, and that's how I created this. And then let's jump over to how we make the mega menu. So hover over edit with Elementor, and then I have a pop-up already created in here. But let's create our own. So we're gonna go to the back end of WordPress, then you're going to go to templates, hover over templates, and then click pop-ups. And then we have our shop pop-up. So let's actually, I can make a duplicate of this. We'll just start from scratch. So I'll go add new pop-up, and then you're going to name this pop-up whatever you'd like. So I would name it something specific to what's in the header here. So if it's say it's shop, or if it's about us or contact or something. For this one, I already have one named shop, so I'm just going to name it shop 2, and then I always just say pop-up. So if you, the reason why I write pop-up in there in the title is when you're looking at all your templates, it's nice to just have what type of template it is in the title, even though it's in the type. I think it's just easier to find if you have pop-up in there. You can name it whatever you want. So shop 2 and then pop-up. And you're going to get some templates. We're not going to use one of these. We're just going to start from scratch. So we'll go plus, and then we'll start out with one. I think we have multiple. I'm going to be going back and forth. So let me duplicate this. I'm going to leave the front end up of the site so we can take a look at it. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 columns within this section. So I just put 1 for right now. because we're going to make our first one, and then we're going to duplicate it, and then I think this is like a background. Actually, you're going to need another plugin for this to make a column clickable. So we'll just go over the basics of how to add this. I could do that in another video. Okay, so we're going to start out with one, and then let's start to build these out. So the first column we have, I put a title in here, and then I did another icon list in there. So let's do heading, and you can make it however you want. So this is going to be, actually before we go there, let's go down to settings. If you go to settings here, this gives you the settings for the entire pop-up. So we're going to go here, and then we're going to make the width. It's pixels right now. We're going to go to view width and make that 100. So that'll make it 100% of the width, screen width. And then let's align that to the top. Now, so we have a couple issues already just looking at this. Let's publish this so we can test it on the front end. So publish, and then you're going to save and close, and that's it. You don't add any conditions to this pop-up. And then you're going to go back over to the header, and then if you just made it, you're going to have to update what you were working on because it won't register the new pop-up. So I'm going to go to the icon list that I created, and then go to one of the items shop, and then the link. It'll say link here. You're going to click on dynamic tags. Then you're going to go down to pop-up. Then you're going to select this wrench, and then you're going to type in the pop-up name. So the one we're working on now is called Shop 2 Pop-Up. So I'm going to update that. And then we're going to go over to the front end of the site to see how it looks. So update, refresh the page, and then click shop or whatever your list item is, and that'll be the pop-up. So one thing that I'm seeing obviously is it's not below the menu. So we want it to be below the menu. And then another thing right off the bat is typically with the mega menus, it doesn't put an overlay, the black overlay on the screen. It's not going to do that. So we want it to be below the menu, one, and we want it to not have the overlay. So let's tackle those two things. So go to Elementor, our pop-up, and then right in settings, if you're in this gear, you're going to click overlay and get rid of it. And then we're going to give it a margin to the top of, you're going to have to troubleshoot this a little bit. I have two items on my, in my header. I have this promo, and then I have the actual header. So I need to give it a little bit more than you may have to. But it's all going to be dependent on what you want. So in pop-up settings, you go to advanced, and then you click advanced again. And then you're going to go down to margin. Just select this to ungroup, because this will link all of them. If I press up, it'll give one. So I'm going to deselect that, and then I'm going to give it a margin to the top. And this is probably going to be off. This is going to be different, because when you go to the front end, it's not always going to be the same. So I'm giving it 112, but I think it's going to be lower down. You'll see when we go to the front end. So we removed the overlay and then gave it a margin to the top. So I'm going to update that, save and close. Back to the front end, refresh. You can do F5 is a hotkey for refresh. And then I'm going to click shop again. Okay, it's just about right. There's a little bit of margin. I would say that's probably 2 or 3 pixels. So we'll remove the, let's say it's 3. And then click shop. So that's just about right. Now, one thing that we're seeing is, do you see our logos getting cut off? It's because I gave the header a ZIndex. Now, ZIndex, if you're not familiar, is layering. It's like Photoshop layering. So the higher the ZIndex, I think this one's a 50. I just wanted it to be above everything. the higher the Z-index, the higher it is up on the page. So if I scroll down, this is the header up here is going to be above everything. So I just gave it that just so we don't have any conflicts later on. But now I'm going to have to add a Z-index to this that's lower than 50 in my case. Now, if your logo, this logo's overlaying a little bit, it's going down a little bit. If you don't see any conflicts, you really don't have to do this. But if you are having conflicts, this is how you're going to fix it. So Z-index, you're going to go back to your pop-up. And then let's see how we did this here. Actually, I don't know if it's in settings. I think I had to manually put it in with custom CSS. So I'm going to go to, yeah, I don't see Z-index in here. Typically, there is Z-index on widgets, but this isn't a widget. It's like a template. So there's not going to be a Z-index for that. So we're going to go to custom CSS. I'm going to do selector. And then Z-index, and then I'm going to give it a 49 and see how it drops below. Yeah, see the logo there? So 49, and I just dropped it below that. Okay, so we can update that. I would just do it once in a while. And let's start, let's give this section a little bit of padding. So we're going to actually start manipulating some of the details in here. So I'm going to give this padding, and I'm going to let's just give it padding all around. So we'll give it padding of 25. So that gave us some space all the way around our content area. So for this first one, and I'm not going to go over much styling, I'm just going to show you how we do this. So say this is a category for your shop. This could be for him, it's I think this is sports. So I'll just go in the same line as how I was doing the other one. So sports, and then you can change, if you want to change the HTML tag to something else, if you don't want it to be H2, you can select that here. Now we have sports in there, and we're going to add a list of items underneath. So just go to icon and then icon list, and you're going to drag that. If you drag it on top, I've noticed there's a thing with Elementor. It should go below. Let's see if it does it. No, it didn't. Sometimes, if you've ever worked with Elementor, it has some issues with that. Like if you put it below, it puts it on top. I don't know. Never mind. So for this icon list, I'm going to delete these two because I don't want icons with it. And then I'm going to remove the check mark or the icon in there in this case. And then when you start doing your icons, this is where you're going to put the link. So you can put whatever link of wherever you want it to be. With these links, you can just start to type in the name. So let's style this a little bit. I'm going to style it. I'm going to go to the text and then typography, and then let's make it like 20. That's fine. Just for this, we won't make it perfect. Okay, so list item. Now let's duplicate these list items just so we can see. And I'm going to update because it's not showing them, and then refresh. Okay, so we have that. Now I want to make a couple columns. So I'm going to right click the column. It's this box, these two boxes, and duplicate, and duplicate. So there you go. This is a basic widget. So you can just build your widget out just like that. So if you're familiar with this, I think this is pretty self-evident at this point of how you're going to build the pop-up. Now let's update and see how it looks on the front end. All right, so click shop. There you go. Now, this doesn't go away on its own, and you have to click it in order to show it. So those are a couple little issues that you may have with this mega menu. It's not really a mega menu. It's using a different function. I actually like it. I use it for a lot of my sites. We've been using it a lot lately, just because it's so easy to build and it's easy to edit, and it doesn't have a lot of issues. Now, if you you want it to disappear or something. Oh, another thing that I had to do with my other one is see how there's, when I scroll down, there's that space. Now, if you have a sticky header and you're experiencing that, there's not really a perfect fix to that, because I mean, you could try the scroll effects, but they're finicky. They don't work a lot. So I did a quick workaround. I've done this a couple times, a quick workaround on this. If you have a sticky menu, it won't do that unless you have this up here. So see how I have this, my top area menu? It's not going with the scroll. See how it's just the black menu that stays at the top? If you had both of these scrolling, you wouldn't have that issue. If I had them both going, you wouldn't have that gap. It's giving you the same gap as that white. So if you're experiencing this, the way I fixed it, I'm going to put my other one back just so you can see. I think it was shop. So shop and pop-up update. This is the one that we already were working with. So shop, and then when I click on it, I actually gave this a negative margin to the top. See how it gives that additional space? It's not a huge issue. We're probably going to work it out a little bit better, but that's a quick workaround. Just give additional padding to the top, and I'll show you how I did that. So you're going to click on edit section. So right click, edit section. And then I give it 141 margin to the top. And then I think I gave the pop-up a negative. No, I gave it 140 padding within the section. And then the actual, go to the gear and go to advanced, advanced again. Wait, how did I do that? Let's see. 140 to the top. Pretty sure I did this. Advanced. Position inside. General settings, position, style. I didn't give this damn thing a margin. Okay, so actually I figured it out. I didn't give it any margin to the top. I just aligned this to the top, and you know how we gave it in our test one, we gave this a margin for the top. I took it away. So now this actual space is taking up the entire thing, if that makes sense. So when you create it, you just align it vertically to the top, and then you remove that margin that we talked about if you're experiencing that issue. And then within here, you give this padding from the top, whatever space this is, until it looks, pretty good. So hopefully that helped. I know we got a little complicated on how I did that end part. There's always going to be a little idiosyncrasies or little problems that you're going to have to work out when you're doing web development. Now, if you haven't done any website development, this might be a little intricate for a new build. But you can just let me know if you have any questions, and I can hopefully walk you through it, or I can do another video to walk you through specific questions that you may have. All right, give me 1 second. Again, my name is Justin with 702 Pros. If you like videos about Elementor, WordPress, marketing, website design, and graphics, we do a lot on this channel. So just consider subscribing, hit the notification bell, and comment, like, if you liked the video and you found it helpful. And if you have any questions, please leave a comment below. Okay, talk to you soon and have a good day.